Hey friends, it's Drea. Today I just wanted to do a good old-fashioned get ready with me. I haven't decided if I actually am going out tonight. I might be. My husband's going to a jam night. I might go with him. I really am on the fence. We went out last night to celebrate something, which I'll talk about in a second. This really truly will be an actual like get ready with me where we'll talk about some of the products, but I'll be chatty and we might not talk about everything. Why am I putting on foundation before I'm putting on primer? I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. Okay, so yeah, last night we went out to celebrate. I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I slept until 1 o'clock today. In the last 8 months, I don't think I have really truly caught up on sleep, slept in, felt good. Like really, I've just been on this exhaustion train for a long time. I think I kind of touched on it recently, maybe in a video where I said, you know, you guys might have noticed I haven't really been like myself. And I definitely haven't felt like myself in months. And I don't think, you know, I don't want to say anything bad because I don't believe in, you know, saying anything bad about your professional settings. And I would never say anything bad about any of the people, but the place that I had been working, it was not right for me. And it really affected me very badly for a long time. So let me backtrack. As you know, or maybe you don't, we moved across the country in, when did we get here? Middle of November. Moved into our house here in December. And then it was, of course, Christmas and the whirlwind that Christmas always is. And then I started a new job on January 7th. And the job that I had was as an assistant manager of Old Navy. You know, there's 60 employees at this particular Old Navy. They're big monsters, you know? So you have a lot of staff in all of these places. But so 3 assistant managers, of which I was one. And when I went into this job, I had a lot of high hopes for it. It was it was just like the first time I was ever going to be managing a really big store. You know, I thought it was going to be a really good opportunity. I had all best intentions that I would stay there for a long time. And it became apparent to me very, very, very soon after working there that it was not the place for me to be. There's so many things about it that made it that way. And again, it's nothing bad about the people or the company at all. It was just a bad fit. It wasn't the type of place that I see myself or have ever seen myself working. It's the exact opposite of what the kind of place that I've always worked in terms of just like how much customer interaction you have, how close you are to associates, or like, I don't know, it was just it was almost too professional in that sense for me, where I like kind of a more family atmosphere for the place that I work at. There were a lot of things. The biggest one was the schedule, and I didn't expect, and I probably should have asked more questions when I got the job, but I did not expect that I would have so many mid shifts, which is like 10 to 7 every day. So essentially I was commuting. Now, I was getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to get my kid ready for school, which is fine. And then I was catching a bus because we only have 1 car. So, and as you know, I don't have my driver's license, which I still am planning on. But anyways, I was catching a bus at 8:30 because that was the bus that would get me there to start at 10. But really I would get there at 9:15. And I would just kill time for 45 minutes. So essentially I was leaving at 8:30 to get there for 10. And then my husband would pick me up at 7, and it takes us half an hour to drive home. So I was gone from 8:30 to 7:30 every day. And I'm sure you could tell the kind of strain that would put on a person. There were a few times that, like maybe once a week for a month-ish, that I got 8 to 5 shifts. I had 8 to 5 shifts on Sundays sometimes, but there was no bus that went that early, so I had to take a cab that early. And it was just a very difficult situation in terms of how long I was away from home. Because, you know, you're forced to take 1 hour lunches and have 15-minute breaks twice a day, where that's an extra hour and a half. And of course you want to have a break, but you know, I would rather leave half an hour earlier than have an hour break, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, it just wasn't the right fit. Like I said, there was a lot of things that didn't work for me about working there, and the fact that I was working so many mid shifts and closing shifts and not seeing my family essentially. January and February, I barely saw the sun, and that's not a joke. Like I would go there in the dark and I would leave there in the dark, and it was very difficult. So I started looking for a job very soon after I started working there. And I knew I wanted to hold out for something that would be, you know, that would get me something better. I feel like I have not even been looking at you guys. I've been just like in my own zone talking. Anyways, I was kind of holding out. Like I did apply for assistant manager a couple places where the pay wouldn't have even been as good as the place I was leaving, and it just didn't make sense to do that. So it took a long time, but I put my resume just on like a resume site, and all of a sudden, once I actually had it uploaded, instead of me applying for things, people started reaching out to me, which I was like, whoa. So I had a couple companies like reach out to me, be like, hey, we see that you're experienced in this and we would love to talk to you. And that was basically about a month ago when all that kind of started happening. And I started interviewing with a couple different companies. And again, it was kind of like a whirlwind. I felt like I was interviewing nonstop for a month. And eventually I found a company that reached out to me that I'm super excited to start working for. And you know, I don't want to like say all the details of it just because of doxing on the internet, but it is a really big company. They're the kind of, it's a clothing retailer again, kind of company that has like multiple companies under one. So it's like not in danger of going anywhere. And I was asked to be store manager for a store, and I accepted that position. And there's a bunch of great things that come along with it. Number one, I've wanted to have my own store again for really years. When I worked at American Eagle, that was one of the best experiences of my life, but there wasn't room for me yet in kind of the upper management there, even though they wanted me to move up. There just wasn't the opportunity at the time, and then I moved, so I was never able to move up any higher there, even though I never would have left Eagle if there was one in this town. I love Eagle so much, and still do, absolutely. But anyways, I've wanted to have my own store for so long, and it's kind of like a dream come true. And the best thing about it is that every person that I've interviewed with, I interviewed with 3 separate people from this company. One was the recruiter who originally reached out to me. One was the district manager, of course, who will be my boss. And one was just the manager of one of the other stores in the area. And just so that, you know, I always felt like I was kind of interviewing them as much as they were interviewing me the whole time. And it just feels like it's going to be a perfect mesh of like what I want and what they want, and so much more just like customer experience, like customer relationships, and associate relationships, which is like at the forefront of my mind. I need that connection with people, which is why I'm in retail. Like I don't understand going into retail if you don't like people. It makes no sense to me. So I'm really excited. And the best part about it is that I told them basically, like I was upfront about moving here and kind of the whirlwind that it was. And I basically said, I need some time off in between to just kind of like reset myself. So I'd like to start mid-June, and I gave my notice at Old Navy. We are now mid-May, and I'm basically gonna be off for a month, which feels great, let me tell you. It's just, I just need that, like I said, reset is really the right word, because with the move, that was a lot. And then jumping into the job, it was a lot. And I just feel like this will give me the time to, you know, get to know the city that I'm in, my surroundings, spend more time with my family, obviously, move more, exercise more. I took my dogs for a walk today, which has been fewer and far between. I just want to do nothing for a month. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to, sorry about the tapping. As you know, I tap off my brush with eyeshadow. I just want to explore and refresh and have fun and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, spend more time with you guys here, get more videos up. That was the other thing. I was feeling so much like my my outlet, which is YouTube and which is you guys, which normally, like, I have that so that whatever stress is in my life that I have, I can come here and I can talk to you, and, you know, I can upload my videos and you guys talk back in the comments, and I have that, like, back and forth, and I have that stress release. Like, this really is my hobby. I make almost no money from it. So the fact that I do it is because I love it and I love you guys. And if I didn't love it, I wouldn't do it, obviously, because it's a huge time commitment. But I do it because it's such a good thing for me mentally, and I love doing it. So, you know, when I didn't have the time to do it like I used to, it was so difficult for me because I felt like I was letting you guys down, and I also didn't get that outlet or that release of making videos and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm gonna have a month to catch up on everything. I am super excited to have a month off, and then the intention of having the month off too is that I can then really throw myself into this new challenging opportunity, which I'm very excited about because, you know, I don't want to go in with a frazzled mind. I want to be able to invest all of myself, which is what they're expecting, of course, as you would when you're hiring a manager. You know, I want to give them that because that's what I would do anyway, but that's what they expect and what I promised. So I am definitely excited about that. I'm going to use this. I know I've not talked about anything so far that's been on my face. We've been using the Yes Please palette from ColourPop, and now we will be using this pigment from ColourPop, which is the Crab from the Zodiac collection. I've not used this yet. This is so beautiful. It's like a pink, like a pinky orange with orangey sparkles in it. I can't wait to see what this is gonna look like on my eyes. So I feel like I just like threw up all over you, all of my issues and problems. Actually, another thing that was so difficult was my teeth, because I was having real dental issues with these two front teeth, and I just got them fixed like last week. And nobody really knew, you know, what was going on. It's not like I could say to them at work, hey, this isn't working out for me. You know, so I had to kind of like grit my teeth and bear it through the whole thing. And, you know, I don't want to make it seem terrible. There was lots of good things about working there. There were lots of nice people. But it was never exactly right for me. So I just want to make that clear again, just in case anybody from there ever watched this. But anyway, Alex knew how difficult it was for me. A lot of friends from back home knew. Oh goodness, look, can you see the sparkle from this? Like, that's the glitter in that pigment. Holy crow. I just said holy crow. I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyways, they all knew. There were times when I would just leave work and I would get in the car and I would just cry the whole way home. And that was very difficult. And there were a couple times my husband was just like, you know what, you gotta stop. This is too much. Like, he was very supportive. Then I know there were times he was just trying to get me through it by being like putting his foot down, like, cut it out. This is enough, because it was going on for a long time. And I feel like at a certain point I did kind of get over that part of it once I realized, hey, you know, you can look for another job. And so that's when things started getting a little bit better for me, but still, it was still stressful. And then of course I gave my 2 weeks notice, and they wanted me to work those 2 weeks, so I did. And that was fine. But it was nice yesterday was my last day. It was really nice to finally be able to leave. Be like, wow, that was a chapter in my life that is now closed. And now we get to move on to some more exciting things. And I am so excited about all the things I have to look forward to. I do look back at Old Navy in a positive way, in the fact that I learned a lot in terms of my professional career They are very, you know, it's corporate. And so many things are like by the book, health and safety stuff, you know, just like store condition stuff, like so many things. When you have a store that is that big and makes that much money and has that much product and that much people, it is just another level of management. And so I am thankful that I learned all that. You know, it's the kind of thing where it's like you could go your whole life having management experience in a small store with, you know, 6 associates, although Eagle had 30, so I was still used to that. But you know what I'm saying, like you could have a lot of management experience on a smaller scale, and I had some, you know, some experience now on a huge scale. And the crazy thing was, you know, in the end I had multiple offers to work at other stores, and I said to my husband, it's kind of like you almost feel like you're pretending, like, oh, well, you know, I'm interviewing for all these places and, you know, they want me, and it's like, can I do this? And but then you realize, no, I really am that experienced and I really can do it, and they really do want me for the actual skills that I have, and that's really rewarding in the end. So going to the place that I'm going, I think it's going to be so great. And the other great thing too is that, yeah, I'm still going to work some mid shifts. Yeah, I'm still going to close. That's what a good manager does. But for the most part, you know, I'll be making my schedule. So I'll be able to, and of course, like I said, yeah, I gotta watch out for my people too. And you always have to manage schedules fairly in that sense if you're going to be a good manager, but I'll be making my own schedule. So it will definitely be a lot easier in that way. That's where I have been mentally for so long. And I feel like I couldn't tell you guys because, you know, you can't just let all this stuff loose and air everything on the internet because you don't know who's going to see it. And even now, like I said, there's nothing bad that I want to say, because nothing bad happened. It was just the wrong thing for me. So I don't feel bad about putting this out there. It's just the truth of the situation. And I'm glad you guys know now because you're such a huge part of my life. And I feel like there's certain things that you wish you could be more involved in, or a lot of you at least. Like, you know, my family life is never really going to be on the table because that's just private. But, you know, I want you guys to know me. That's what this channel is. And so I felt like I was trying to put on you know, a happy face, but it wasn't really working. And I remember one of you said, and I don't even remember who it was, so I'm sorry, but one of you said you were watching, it was one of my Zodiac tutorials, and you said, like, maybe next time you should smile a little bit. And I was like, wow, that like hit me in the gut. Like, yeah, you're right, I'm not smiling, and it's because I'm extremely unhappy. So it was just kind of like funny at the time, because I didn't take it as an insult. I took it like as, oh yeah, that's very apparent to some of you that I am not very happy. I'm going to use this. This is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Airbrush Bronzer. I've been having kind of a love-hate thing with this. Like not hate, but I love it, but I also am finding it difficult not to overuse it. So it's a loose bronzer and it's pretty pigmented. And if I get the right amount, it looks beautiful. But if I get too much, it's way too much. So I kind of take some in the cap, and then like I feel like I don't know how much to put on the brush, how much to get on the brush, but it's such a pretty tone. And if you get the right amount on your face, it looks so nice. It makes me think like I'm putting like cocoa powder on my face, so just because of the way it looks. It's a good thing I started getting ready when I did, because my husband just came through here and I am gonna go out with him. So this is Ginger Pop from Clinique. I love this eyeshadow. Is this not so beautiful? The pigments that I got from ColourPop from the Zodiac collection are the Crab, which is this gorgeous blue, and then this one, which is, did I even say what it is? The Ram. This is the packaging for it, the Ram. And then I got another one, which I think is just like a shimmery champagne. But this is stunning. Look at the red with like the gold glitter in it. I'm just blown away by how gorgeous this is. I'm gonna use Champagne Pop from Becca. I brought this in my Shop My Stash because I haven't touched it in maybe a year, like a long flipping time. This is such a nice summer highlighter. Anyway, so other than that, it's like, well, what else is happening? I don't know. I don't know what else is happening. Really, the only other things going on in my life are like TV related. I'm rewatching Stranger Things. How about that? From the beginning, because the new one's coming out in July, I think July 4th. Should I do it? I feel like I should do it. My husband hates it when I wear eyelashes. Do any of your significant others like either hate or love eyelashes? Because he flippin' hates them, and you know how much I love them. But I'm gonna do it anyway. A lot of people say, and I've said this before, a lot of people say, you should do what you want and, you know, screw them. But at the same time, I don't like him with facial hair, and so, you know, he does that for me. So there is a little bit of a give and take, you know? But sometimes I go, nah, you know what, I'm gonna wear eyelashes tonight. Okay, so these are the Kiss Lash Couture in Chiffon. They're so wispy. They're like my favorite kind. And lastly, we're just gonna do Urban Decay Fuel, which look like this is getting lower and lower. I decided the other day that this is gonna live in my purse for the summer because I keep putting it into like my, you know, Shop My Stash, and then I'll wear it once. But if it was in my purse, I know I'd wear it so much. So I'm gonna do that. 3, 2, 1. I want to pretend that this like zit acne scar right here is like one of those Marilyn Monroe beauty marks. Can I get away with that? I don't know. Clearly I have to change still. I was thinking the other day about this sweatshirt and how many times you guys have seen me wear this sweatshirt. It's just like one of my favorites. I have these 2 sweatshirts from Pink, this one and then one that's like cream, and I wear them constantly in my videos. I think it's just because I often film on my days off, and that's when I want to wear like the loungiest clothes possible. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I feel like I finally got off my chest the things that I needed to get off my chest for so many months, and the things that I wasn't sharing with you, not because I didn't want to, but because I wasn't able to. And so now I finally feel like maybe you guys can understand where I have been mentally during these last few months and how difficult it's been, and why that's maybe affected my channel a little bit. So I just want to say thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for hanging in to the end of this video so we could talk about it. All the products will be in the description bar because clearly I didn't really talk about them as I was putting them on, but as always they will be in the description bar if you're wondering about anything that I put on my face. And that's it for today. I hope that whatever troubles and trials and tribulations you have going on in your life, that you can find some way, some people, something to get you through it. Because I know now, coming out the opposite side, that it's kind of like whatever kills you, no, not whatever kills you, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That really is true, and that kind of was, that mantra kind of got me through it too. So it'll give you some life skills, at least, if nothing else. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm doing so much better, and here's to a great month ahead of doing nothing except for whatever I want to do, which obviously includes you guys so much. And that is it. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.